want to take a few minutes to talk about energy prices. It's impacting everybody, and I hear the concerns from individuals. I want to just share a couple thoughts. First of all, when you get your energy bill, there's actually three different components. One is the supply, which is subject to the whim of the market. As you know, it was cold in December, 4 degrees colder, and our bills from December reflected that and the increase in the cost of the power. And obviously, it's very cold right now. So, come February, our January bill is not going to be very low. So you have the cost of the power, which is subject to the whim. We had a 300% increase about a week ago during the cold snap. Number two is the cost of the distribution. That's what your utility, and most people here in the capital region, National Grid, some people use NYSEG. That is something that's actually approved by the PSC. And I will tell you, I work with the PSC on a regular basis. I may not always like the answer I get, but I also know that there are several hundred people there that do a very technical overview on a very complicated item. And the reality is this, there's a 10-20% increase for National Grid for transmission and distribution of that power that's been approved over a multi-year period. And the reason it's there is because the reality is there's a lot more greater demand for electricity particularly, and there's demand for gas. And there needs to be investment in the infrastructure. The third area, the third bucket, as I like to call it, is what's called government mandated charges. What does that mean? That means these are charges that either were implemented by the PSC or voted on by the legislature, one or the other, for charges to help generate funds to help people who are low, moderate income, to help people with converting their energy source to make them more efficient. I will say this, all the charges are well intentioned, but the truth of the matter is they're built on a system where when the commodity of power goes up, more money is collected. And I kind of want to focus on that right now because we can't control the market. I wish we could. We can't really control National Grid's rates because the PSC has already made that decision. It's part of the rate case. But we can take a look, and I said this last week at a hearing, about maybe reducing some of the impact on households when it comes to the government mandated charges. A lot of those are built on a base, and of course, if the cost base of the energy goes up, that means the state's going to collect more money. My preference, my suggestion, is let's hold off on collecting that additional money and try to provide immediate relief to individuals that is meaningful on their bills. I think right now that's the best we can do. Listen, folks, we don't control the energy market. I wish we did. And it sounds crazy, but what goes on in Texas, believe it or not, impacts New York State in many aspects. And depending on your source of news, you're going to have different voices telling you it's this one's fault, it's that one's fault. You know, at the end of the day, you know what? The demand is high, and it's a basic principle. When demand is high, prices go up. We need to work collaboratively together to try to find ways to reduce the impact. I do believe on some of these government mandated charges, there's room to do that. I shared that with the PSC last week at a hearing. Stay tuned. This is going to be a continued hot topic during the budget, but just want to share a few thoughts with you. Obviously, if you have any questions, don't ever hesitate to reach out. Easiest way, and I always say this to people, send me an email. Tell me what your concern is. We'll get back to you. And the email is mcdonaldj@nyassembly.gov. Thank you.